I'm going to warn you guys in 5 seconds. If you guys have not seen the fights, don't watch this video. In 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, I warned you. These are spoilers. But this is UFC 211. Badass fight card. You had Frankie Edgar dominating the fight from bell to bell, making his opponent's eyes swell up. Okay, he is getting a title fight, hopefully, after Max Holloway. And I think Max Holloway will win that fight and will get a fight against Frankie Edgar. And I think Frankie Edgar could maybe possibly beat somebody like a Max Holloway. But I don't want to see Frankie Edgar 3 versus Jose. That's just something I don't want to see. And then you've seen the Masvidal fight versus Damian Maia, and he was getting lit up on the feet, beat up on the feet. He got taken down a few times, and when he was taken down, he was just held there in a body triangle and really couldn't do much, okay? And Damian Maia ends up winning a split decision, okay? And some people were like, hey, well, he should have lost that fight because he really didn't do much and he got beat up on the feet. I can understand where some people said he lost, some people said he won. I can understand that. What was it, a robbery? No, it wasn't a robbery. It was a close fight. At least Masvidal was able to withstand the takedowns without getting submitted like most fighters are. Most fighters are taken down, submitted very fucking easily, and the fight is over before you even know how to say, what's up, dog? And he walked up to Dana White and said, give me a title fight. And Dana White says, you finally got it. You earned it. And for me, I think the reason why the UFC never wanted to give Damian Maia a title fight is because Damian Maia, to the average casual fan, he's a boring-ass dude because he lays and prays on somebody. And the average casual fan does not understand the game of mixed martial arts. They don't. They just see a guy land on somebody and they say, get up, throw some punches, knock him out. That's pretty much what they do. They want to see a guy who throws down and knocks people out. I'm like, how come so many people will not go out and watch like Glory Kickboxing, because those are the best strikers in the world with significant knockouts, and they're like, oh no, I'd rather just watch UFC. And when it gets to the ground, you hear a lot of guys in the crowd, ooh, they boo because they don't understand the freaking game. So for me, Damian Maia is going to be fighting against Tyron Woodley, and Tyron Woodley is a guy who's very vicious, very aggressive, extremely good wrestling, a hell of a puncher, a hell of a power striker. And Damian Maia, his striking is not all that great, but his striking is decent enough that he can get in close range and take you down. But I don't think he can take Tyron Woodley down. And Tyron Woodley is very aggressive and very vicious. So that fight is intriguing to me. But there's no way that Damian Maia in that fight is going to be winning any title. I don't see him beating Tyron Woodley whatsoever. But you have the Joanna Jedrzejczyk fight. Joanna versus Jessica. Jessica comes into the fight landing a few strikes and had her eye puffed up. You know, Joanna's eye, like, up here was a little puffed up. And Joanna, for example, she was just doing what she does. Just landing punches and bunches with her significantly badass striking. She's probably one of the best strikers in MMA, man or female. Man, female, whatever. She's probably the baddest striker in the business. And she ends up winning a all 5-round fight. The problem is, Jessica, to me, got my respect. She kept coming forward. She was getting hit, coming forward. She was still trying to bob and weave, still coming forward. But she was being very predictive because every time she would land a strike, she would go, you could see her. She would wind up first. She'd go, you could see her. She would go like this. And that's where Joanna was like, oh, I see the punch coming. And Joanna looked so much taller than Jessica. I don't know if Jessica's like 5'1", 5'2", but she definitely looked very small, even in that weight class. Her body looked physically stronger, like she looked thicker, but she was significantly shorter. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, if her range or her length was very short, but she will be back, because she definitely sounded like after the fight, like, I'll be back. It was just I lost, I'll learn, and I'll come back. That's basically, she didn't sound like she was very depressed. She was sad. She was like a lot of fighters after they lose, they'll say stuff like, yeah, during my camp, they'll be like, yeah, Conor McGregor was the better fighter tonight, but I injured my rib during the fight, so I really couldn't compete. And she didn't say anything like that. She just said that she's the champion, she'll be back, and she proposed to her girlfriend that they're going to want to get married. And she took, like I said, a hell of an ass whooping, but she proved that she has heart and determination to win, and she was always coming forward. Always coming forward. She was never backing down, and that's one thing I respect for her. Even though she was getting beat up, she was probably pissed off, and she kept coming forward and coming forward. And even Daniel Cormier is like, she keeps walking forward like she's pissed off, and that's what she was doing. She would get cracked, and she would just come forward like this, get cracked, come forward. So that chick gained all my respect, and she probably gained a lot of people's respect that night. Badass chick. Now it's gonna be Rose Namajunas versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk, and Rose Namajunas is going to be a badass chick, and she has good ground game. So that's one thing that we need to see is her ground game. Can it nullify the stand-up game of this Joanna? I know Rose Namajunas, her striking is good, but it's no Joanna striking. Joanna's probably the best striker in MMA, the best striking in women's MMA. So I don't know if she can hang and bang with her, but I'll definitely want to see that fight. I would still go on leaning towards Rose Namajunas because I'm a fan of hers, but I would still say Joanna will knock her senseless, like this dominator. That's how I see the fight. I want Rose to win, but I'll see Joanna the victor. Then you got the title fight, the heavyweight fight. JDS does not look like himself anymore, man. Like, he landed a lot of significant leg kicks that definitely did have Stipe buckled, because he hit him like hard leg kick, like 2 leg kicks, and you can see Stipe kind of buckled. But what Daniel Cormier said, which is agreeable, he kept going on the cage, and that's where Junior Dos Santos is known to get most of his damages on the cage. When he's out in the open of the octagon, that's where he's better with his striking, his leg kicks, his boxing. But he just looked a lot slower, and for me, a lot of his last couple fights, he looked a lot slower ever since he fought Cain Velasquez, okay? Junior Dos Santos, I think he's like the Uriah Faber of the heavyweight division, who will always be around the top 10, but will never be the champion again, because you have guys like Stipe, which is phenomenal. Like, that dude's so aggressive. He's so aggressive. He didn't even get cracked, I don't think. He was just in his face at all times and landed the strike. And I think the reason why Junior Dos Santos got cracked is when he was trying to move away from him around the cage, he got caught in the corner. Because if you look at the fight, there's a corner piece of the octagon where the octagon goes like kind of like this, and he landed in that spot, and he didn't have a chance to kind of move left or right. So he got hit and he fell, and I think he got clipped behind the ear. That's why he fell, and he got beat up. So do I think Stipe Miocic has improved more than Junior Dos Santos? Yeah, most significantly he has. But we'll see if Cain Velasquez can regain his title and beat this dude. Because I think Cain Velasquez can do it because he has significantly good wrestling, good cardio, and he has heart for days. But this fight card overall was a 9.5 out of 10. I definitely will say, if you have not seen it, go to MMA-core-.com, something like that. If you look it up, the little line. If you look it up, it's a little line like that. You can check. I think it's hyphen, whatever. I'll put a link in the description box where you guys can see the full fights and whatnot. So I am Trevor. As always, remember to rate, hate, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you guys back for UFC 212. We'll see you guys in the next one.